Hello, Scott Lewis here. This is my first go around with a little web tutorial, so everybody bear with me as I run through this. I'm sure there'll be little pauses and breaks in between here as I try and get through this. So I've had a lot of questions lately in creating expression maps using the East-West libraries. So I thought I'd throw up this quick tutorial here and try to explain how I've gone about creating expression maps. Now, you can create expression maps very easily, and many people have different approaches to doing it. This is just my approach. So, first off, you'll see my Cubase screen here. I've gone through and just created a little bit of MIDI data in here, so we've got something to play with once we create our expression map. So, you notice on the bar on the left you'll have expression map listed pretty clearly here. So I'll expand this open. You'll see there's no expression map. You want to click here and go to expression map setup. So here you've got a blank palette. There's nothing here for you to go in and input, no instructions, no information or anything right off of this screen. So what we'll do, the first thing you want to do is click on this plus where it says add map. We're going to go and create our first expression map. So I'm gonna title this here trumpets. I believe I'll be using the 4 trumpet patch from East-West. So let's call this 4 trumpets. Alright, so I've got the title of my expression map up here. Now, the first thing I want to do is I've got this slot of information I should fill. So my slot name, and what I've done in this case is go through and take directly from the documentation what they have, what East-West has listed as their key switches. So that's what I'm putting in here, the key switches. So I'll go with the names. Show you what I'm talking about here is I've got 4 trumpets here. So you'll notice they've got these named 4 TP, forte piano. This is C#0. So what I'll do here is in my slot 1 I'm going to name this forte piano. Now you can set an articulation, so you've got text or you have little graphical images that you can pick from these. So some are already set up, some are not. So you've got trills, falls, dynamics, marcato, accent, so there's a lot of different techniques to pick from that are automatically here. In this case, this does not exist in any of the pre-made, so you can just add a custom. It'll go through and throw a little graphic in here, and that can be changed to whatever it is you like, but we'll leave it alone for now. So I've got forte piano, and let me go ahead and add another one. So the first one was created automatically for me. The second one I'll have to go and add. So let's pick another one off the list. Let's just pick crescendo. So we'll see if the technique actually exists here. I don't see it here in this list. I don't see it here in this list. I don't see it in this list. And I don't see it in this list. So I'll add another custom articulation. You'll see that another little graphical image showed up here. So let's see, do I have anything else decent to pick from? No, so we'll just start with these. So I've got my first 2 articulations. Now again, you can change these to whatever you'd like. So the next step is to refer back to the documentation. Now remember, I had shown this C#0 and the crescendo is F0, so just keep that in mind. So I'll go back to my list here. Now here I've got my output mapping. Well, this is going to be the key set data that I want to enter in here. So I'm going to add one. So I'm going to add one for both of these. So they'll both have some sort of information. So my forte piano is note on. I'm going to do a key switch at C#0. So this is my first key switch that's going to get forte piano out of this. On my crescendo, I'm going to go through here and hit F0. So F0, I've set both of these for two different articulations. So you'll notice that as I highlight each one of these, they'll switch and show you the data over here. So now each one of these has an articulation and an attribute. We'll go down to this next window, or we'll skip over most of this data here. So here I've got crescendo, and say for example that I really don't particularly like what this option is giving me here. So I can pick from a symbol or I can pick text. So if I wanted to, I could just put in crescendo, or I could pick in something from the list of images here. So let's go, in this case I'll go with crescendo. We'll just give it the description, text, we'll make it crescendo, and we'll leave the forte piano. Let's see if we've got one for that. Let's see, forte piano. Alright, so we've got one there, and I'll always give this a description. So here I've got the two bits of information that I want for the particular instrumentation up over here. So this is my key switch 1, key switch 2. I've got FP and crescendo over here. So in this case, I've got attributes set, an attribute set here. Now, the difference between an attribute and a direction, which is the other one here, is an attribute can be placed on a per note basis. So if there's something that's used kind of once at a time, a note here and there, you want to take and make it an attribute. Direction spans over time, so it will fill the entire MIDI lane in your track, in your segment, across to the end. Now that'll be interrupted by attributes, and I'll show that a little later on. But so here we've got, in this case, I want to do my forte piano as an attribute and my crescendo as an attribute as well. So let me add one more here. I'm going to add sustain legato. Now, what I try to do is I try to match as closely as possible in the documentation that East West has come up with for their instruments. Now, a lot of their instruments don't match up with that actual musical terms that come out of Cubase, and that's fine. Make them up the best you can, put in the best kind of information that you can. So in this case, I'm not seeing anything that comes close to matching a sustained legato. So what I'll do is I'll kind of leave this. We'll just do another custom articulation. We'll look here. I'm not seeing anything special here. So I'll just put sus leg. Kind of the same way it's shown there, automatically fills in the description. Now in this case I'm going to change it to direction. So here I've got direction. So what you'll see here is for 4 trumpets I put in 3 of the key switches. There's more, but this is the basics in getting the information in. So let me add the key switch for this one as well. Do my output mapping. This will be note on, and in this case from the documentation it is D0. So here I've got my sus leg, sus leg, sus leg, sus leg, and the note on that triggers that particular key switch. So let me give you an example here of one that's for the most part fairly completed. So here I've got the 4 trumpets expression map already built. So let me open this one. This is stored on my hard drive as a file. Just give you an example of what it looks like. So here's a few of them that I have already listed in here. Ones to be where they kind of match, how they kind of look, you know, what they look like over here. The key switches, you'll notice these change for each one of the iterations of the instrumentation that I have. So you get kind of an idea of what one will look like. Now I've set these all to attribute. Now you normally edit these depending on the piece that I'm working on, so I'll set the attribute, you know, the sustain, I'll probably set that direction. The legato, the same thing, I'll set that direction. Staccato, that depends. If I have a long staccato section, you know, I'll probably set it to direction. So that's kind of the basic overview. So I'll get rid of this second one here and just show you in saving here. So as long as this is highlighted, I can save this and I can save this out to whatever I want. Now I've already got a 4 trumpet, so I won't overwrite, but all you have to do is click save in any directory that you've created on your hard drive, and you've basically got your expression map created. Now that's a very simple, quick overview on setting them up. Now a lot of the instruments have a lot of key switches to them, so you'll have to, you know, do a lot of typing. It's a lot of manually entered manual work that goes along with it, but you get the basic idea for going through and creating your own expression map using the key switches and east-west. This applies to other instruments as well, as long as you've got key switches or some kind of other data that you can apply in one of these sections, programs, controllers, note on data, whatever you'd like to put up in here, you know, this thing will support, and you can in many ways just go through and create your own key switch mappings for any type of instrument you have. So that's my first shot at this, and if you guys have any questions, you can always email me at riveted@gmail.com, riveted @gmail.com. Thanks.